Alright, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Ruach Kodash. Double honors to my teachers, the head apostles and elders of great millstones who rule well. And Shalom to the sincere brethren that are out there in the highways and byways bringing forth this word, this truth, and truth and sincerity. I want to say Shalom to the believers as well, the Akim and the Akwat, the brothers with the sisters. So this lesson, I wanted to get into this quick lesson concerning the chariots of the Lord, chariots of Israel. What the world knows as UFOs or UAPs, because they're biblical. The UFOs are actually biblical, and I wanted to go into a couple accounts of it, So I'm going to begin with the book of Zechariah, the 5th chapter and the 1st verse. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll, So, and you also have to take into consideration that in the ancient times, words, they didn't call you UFOs as we call them now. They would have different terminologies for them, and this would be an example of that. So let me read that again. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll, So what we would perceive to be a UFO or a UAP, here Zechariah is telling us he turned to see, and he classified it as a flying roll, And verse 2, and he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits. So that's a UFO, a so-called UFO or UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon. That's a terminology they use for it now. And so I wanted to get another account of it, because in the book of 2 Kings, Elijah was taken up by a chariot. Just the book of, I'm gonna just get 2 Kings, the 2nd chapter and the ninth verse. I'm starting at the 9th verse. And it came to pass when they were gone over that Elijah said unto Elisha, ask what I shall do for thee before I be taken away from thee. And Elisha said, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me. So this was when Elijah was about to get taken up, and Elisha, he told Elisha ask of him before, ask what he wants, before he gets taken up. Because Elisha was Elijah's student, if you will. He was following Elijah, verse 10. And he said, thou hast asked, I'm going to read that again. And it came to pass, when they were gone over, that Elijah said unto Elisha, ask what I shall do for thee before I be taken away from thee. And Elisha said, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me. And he said, thou hast asked a hard thing. Nevertheless, if thou see me when I am taken from thee, it shall be so unto thee. But if not, it shall not be so. So, what is he gonna be? How is he gonna be taken up? By the way of a UFO, a so-called UFO, which we would know as a chariot. A chariot. Verse 11. And it came to pass, as they went on and talked, that behold, there appeared a chariot of fire, and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind unto heaven. So Elijah was taken up by what? A so-called UFO, what we would know as the chariots of the Lord. So I also wanted to get in to because the chariots, the same way Elijah was taken up, is the same way the elect will be taken up from here out of Babylon, America, Babylon the Great, which is America. Because when 200 million missiles come, um, the only way you're gonna escape the lake of fire, which is the missiles and the burning, the burning. The only way you're able to escape that is if you're taken up by a UFO, and so far UFO has been a hot topic around the world, the government's releasing information, ultimately the Lord is he's visiting the planet Earth, he's showing himself, which the chariots are not a new thing. They're of old, actually, they're of old. They're not a new idea. They're not a new idea. It's not like you just figured them. They've been here. And they're here to deliver the elect. The elect of Israel, to save them from, to save them from the lake, from the 200 million missiles that are about to come in, man. So I'm gonna get real quick. This is a book of St. Luke, chapter 21, and verse 20. I'm gonna start at 27. Actually, it's Lakia. I'm gonna start at 25. Yeah, verse 25. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars. And we had accounts of that. Actually, me and the Akim account, we seen the sun and the moon were orangish, reddish color, for 2 days, 2 days in a row. And then I believe it was yesterday, 2 days ago, the sun it got dark out of nowhere all of a sudden at 3 p.m. It just got dark all of a sudden out of nowhere. Those are signs. I'm gonna read that again. Verse 25, there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations. And we're seeing that worldwide, this distress of nations, this uproars in the people. People the love of many are waxing colder and colder and colder, people, they're not regarding their kings nor princes. People are just upwards, man. And upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking Salakia, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. The so-called UFOs are also known as clouds in the scriptures, and that's what Yahushua and his angels are gonna come back with. Yahushua is gonna come with I'm gonna get that real quick. This is the book of Isaiah, the 66th chapter. Isaiah, the 66th chapter, and I'm going to start at the 15th verse. For behold, the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. So Yahushua is coming back in a so-called UFO. And it's going to be the biggest UFO. The one Yahushua is going to be on. It's going to be the biggest UFO, out there. I can actually get that. Let me real quick. This is a book of Second Ezra, the 13th chapter, and I'm gonna start at the 5th verse. Well, this is this is Ezra actually seeing a dream. He dreamed a dream by night. He's seen the Yahushua's return and Yahushua coming back, and Esau and the device is trying to fight against the Lord, And then this goes to this I'm gonna just get that real quick though. This is the 5th verse. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number, from the four winds of the heaven to subdue that man that came out of the sea. Who's that man? That's Yahweh Shai and his angels, you know. And I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, you know, and flew upon it. That mountain is going into a what? A chariot, you know. But I would have seen the region or place where without the hill was graven, and I could not. So Ezra couldn't see the beginning nor the end of that mountain that Yahweh Shai flew upon. You know, he couldn't see the beginning or the ending of it. You know, how great is that? How large, you know, was that chariot? You know, you can only look so far. You know, the human eye can only see so far. But yeah, Ezra is telling us that he couldn't even see the the beginning or the end. I'm going back to that Luke 21 and 27. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads. Yup, that's what we do, man. Every day, constantly, man. You looking up. You trying to get out of here. You know. You want to get out of here. You waiting. You're waiting, man. Every day, man. You just look up. You know. Once you see this forest fires running rampant, bro. Uproars in the people, you know. A lot happening on the planet Earth, man. I'm going to read verse 28 again. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up. Yep, when we see these prophecies unfolding, man, we see the talks of the MOTB, man. We're seeing talks of it, man. We're seeing a prelude, you know. We're seeing these things. Then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. You know, our redemption draweth nigh. You know. Come, you know. I'm gonna get a real, and I wanna get this real account, this account real quick. This is the book of 2 Kings, the 6th chapter, and I'm gonna start at the 13th verse. And when you go into 2 Kings, the 6th chapter, it's actually an army was sent, you know, to apprehend Elisha, you know, and an army was sent to apprehend Elisha, you know, and when Elisha had faith, you know, he could see the chariots, he could see the chariots, but his students that were round about him, you know, they feared because that army that was sent to detain them was a lot more than they. But Elisha could see in the spirit, man, that he could see the chariots round about him that were more than them, you know. I'm gonna get that on the 13th verse, and he said, "Go and spy where he is, that I may send and fetch him." And it was told him, saying, "Behold, he is in Dathan." You know. So this, all right, 14th verse. Therefore sent he thither horses and chariots and a great host, and they came by night and compassed the city about. You know, so this is when they were sent out to detain Elisha. You know, and when the servant of the man of the Most High, which was Elisha, was risen early and gone forth, behold, an host compassed the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, Alas, my master, how shall we do? And he answered, Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. You know, so in times of trouble, you shouldn't fear, because there's actually angels that are encamped round about those that fear Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, you know. No matter what, man, if someone tries to come up against you, man, keep your eyes on Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, you know. Verse 17, and Elisha prayed and said, Lord, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened his eyes, Salakia, and the Lord opened the eyes of the young men. And he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of chariots Salakia, full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha, you know? So there was more of them than the host that was sent to comprehend or attain Elisha, Salakia, you know? So Lord willing, I hope that was edifying. I hope Yahweh Shem Shai willing that was edifying. Once again, I want to say double honors to the head apostles and elders of great Muslims that taught me this truth. And I want to say I hope that lesson was edifying. Till the next time, Shalom.